Hello, happy Friday. All right, so this is new. This is kind of like I'm challenging myself here. This is going to be all signs, quick one card pull for the weekend. So it's intuitive, really fast. So if it's going to be like maybe what you need to hear right before the weekend happens, you know what I mean? And so it's going to be faster than normal. I'm still going to give, messages at least a few minutes per sign, but let's see how it goes. Because you know me, I'm a run-on sentence, right? Could you guys help me, Angel or Lori or anybody, if I call out the timestamps because it's going to go quick? It'll take more time for me to stop and go. If I just scream the timestamp and at the end, if you could just post it for me to copy or send it to me to copy, that'd be great. Hello, Lori, the girl. What's up? And let's see what's going on. I'm also doing super chats right after this as well too. Hi, VR. Hi, Christina. What's up? And I'm doing super chats at 3:15. So that's going to be the same as usual. I'm starting a little bit earlier so we can get ahead on the weekend. So hi, Tiara. What's up? There's already a list over there. So just if you want to get on it, get over there. I'm starting earlier so I can have more energy. Yes, Tiara, you can. Go ahead and just go over to the other one and put your name in, your question in, and I will pin you and you'll be on the list. So no problem at all. So I am going to start Aries at 222 because you guys know me. It's just a great number. I love to start off with good numbers, and Aries at 222 sounds really great. So hello, April. Did I say hi? All right. So one card pull for the weekend. One card pull for the weekend. It's basically going to give me the energy, possibilities, what to expect instead of not expect, because if you're expecting the worst, then that's usually what we get. So what does Aries need to know about this weekend? Immediate attention. What does Aries need to know about this weekend? Aries, 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 Aries. Your card, Page of Earth. Page of Pentacles. All right, so all pages can bring messages, the messages that we've been waiting for, somebody reaching out. It can bring a slower energy too, all right? So for some of you, it's okay. You're like, hey, somebody's reaching out. Somebody wants to get to know me. Somebody wants to talk. Somebody wants to work something out. Somebody wants to make an offer. It can be these kind of great energies coming in. So if you're waiting for a doorway to open up and you're hoping that you hear from somebody, this would be a great weekend for that to happen. Again, we are in retrograde right now. So just remember though, that sometimes when people come back during retrogrades, it is a slow start and then it disappears, right? So I always do say though, if somebody comes back that you've been waiting on, and you just know that they always come back, they come around, it's an on again, off again, just take it slow, take it with a grain of salt at first, see what their intentions are. The Page of Pentacles can talk about good intentions. I really want to make this work, but at the same time, it can be a breadcrumbing energy if that's the pattern you've been in, all right? But expect maybe to hear from somebody, messages. I do see Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now, on the other flip side of it, not just being love, this could be an opportunity to get a project started, to make money. There could be news of money coming in. There could be a job offer coming in. You might have an idea about a job, things like that. So this does bring in a new beginning of some sort. All pages do. New interests coming in too as well. So financial matters could be really positive for you. And maybe you are also wanting to do something new or something different. This can be a good opportunity to try something new and do something different. And that's what I have for you, Aries. Page of Pentacles, earthy energy around you. So if you are connected to a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this could be a sign that you may hear from them. All right. Now let's move on to my Tauruses. All right, my bulls, my bull gang, my bull balls. Right, well, that's a new one, bull balls, right? You know me and my balls. All right. I got that from my boys. My boys used to always say balls and nuts and shit like that, you know. I'm a boy mama. All right, but let's see. Hello, Star Seed. Taurus at 5:15. What does Taurus need to know this weekend? What's the most important thing to know this weekend regarding both love and life, whatever, you know? Taurus, what does Taurus need to know? All right, Taurus. 3 of fire, 3 of wands, all right? So this is really good, you know, some fire energy for you, a chance to really kind of explore and get things going. This is a card of connection. This is a card of things working out for you. You know, you may be inspired to go somewhere. You're seeing progress this weekend, all right? This can be something coming around the corner, somebody connecting with you, reaching out. Again, we are in retrograde. I keep telling you that, you know, that there is a chance for, you know, somebody to return, right? This could be a short trip this weekend. Maybe it's time to get out there and go explore, all right? Learning something, hanging out with somebody, connecting with people, going places. And this is also confirmation that what you've been working on recently, or what, you know, these goals of yours, they're all happening. Things are coming together. Something may happen this weekend where you get more information so that now you can add another piece to the puzzle. All right, so fire energy, Aries. This is very strong Aries. So whatever I said in Aries, maybe something you need to know as well. There could be a job on the horizon. There could be money coming in for you. I know some of you like that as well. All of us do. But this weekend, this could be also making some long-term plans. So you could be talking or connecting with people that are improving your life, or somebody here comes out of it nowhere. You didn't see it coming too. That can be a possibility. And it adds to your future. So you may be talking about plans for the future. You know, you may have ideas come up this weekend, or somebody's connecting with you, making plans for the future. So good progress type of weekend where it feels like, you know, all right, I'm seeing movement. So if you've been feeling stagnant, this is a good sign saying this weekend you may feel some, you know, movement. You may feel some breathing space, you know, and you know, abundance, things looking very good for you. So if you're in a rush to get somewhere, this card is saying, though, you know, you do have to have a little patience because you're still in the production scene. You know, you're still getting things together and figuring things out. All right. So most important thing here is to know progress this weekend. You may start to see things opening up and the space clearing out for you. That's what I got for my Tauruses. Let's see my Gemini. Hello, Bernadette. Hello, Alyssa, Starseed. Hello, Rita. What's up? Let me know if you guys like these quick ones. I may do them on Fridays all the time. I originally started on Friday to do quick card pulls, but I always get sucked into the long, deep readings. All right. So Gemini at, let's see, 8:28. 8:28. What does Gemini need to know this weekend? What should you be aware of this weekend? Focus on this weekend. What to expect this weekend? What kind of energy for Gemini? I see the death card. All right. You're like, oh, geez, thanks. Right. But this is not bad. This is really good. This weekend could be the end of a difficult phase. All right. So you're outgrowing something. You're moving on from something. You're getting over something. Something's finally given. You know, you've been feeling maybe tense, like, when the hell, what the hell, you know, and this means that that phase is over. You also could be outgrowing a situation, Gemini, right? You're transforming this weekend. So this could be big epiphanies this weekend. If you're trying to make something fit that no longer fits, or you're chasing something that you know that you really don't want, you're just bored, right? These kind of things are coming to an end. So this is making space for something new to come in. So this weekend could be very powerful. And that means that a lot of endings could happen this weekend too, which means you finish something, you finish a project, you finish a conversation, you finally get some sort of conclusion. You know, you're finally moving on from something. You know, an ego death could even be happening. Maybe finally some of you are like, like, thank God this is over. Something's done and completed, right? So big moment this weekend of endings that need to happen. You know, the hard part about this card, guys, is that if you don't want to let go of something, but you know it needs to go, you're going to struggle with this energy, because if you've outgrown something, or you know something is over, but you're just afraid to move on past it, this can be real, can bring up grievance. You know, it can make us feel more isolated or alone during these times, right? When this happens, but it's a weekend of release. All right, releasing what no longer serves you. All right, so it's time to move on is what I'm getting, and I'm seeing spiritual transformation for you. Now, don't fear the death card, right? This is Scorpio energy. Don't fear me, right? A lot of this can be psychological. It doesn't mean a relationship has to end. It doesn't mean that a job has to end. It doesn't mean that somebody's, you know, personal life has to go, you know. It just means psychological, all right? It's something that's really been weighing on you. It's time for it to stop, and it's going to have a natural ending, right? And you should feel some relief from this as well, you know, if this is for you. So that was Gemini. Let's move on to my Cancer babies. All right. And that's it too, a toxic attachment that you feel is the death card can be an end to an attachment. And the good news about that, and this is for Gemini still, the good news about that is when you release an attachment, that is usually when your manifestation comes in. That is when shit starts to happen. It's the attachment which causes the resistance. So let's see Cancer at 12. Cancer. What does Cancer need to know for this weekend? Energy. What could be coming in? What to expect. I always say what to expect because I want you to learn to expect the best, not the worst, right? Our expectations usually manifest for us, so remember that. All right. I like the bottom of the deck. I see the High Priestess, all right? So listen to your intuition this weekend, for the most part, all right? Trust yourself. This weekend, trust yourself. All right. If you feel like you should reach out, if you feel like you should do something, if you feel like you shouldn't do something, don't do it. All right. This is a weekend where you're going to want to listen more. You may find out some secret. You may get the facts. You may see proof. But when we're seeking and searching and we're not trusting, or we're not sitting back and listening, we tend to miss the bus. We tend to miss the information that's trying to come to you. You may receive some news about something that you did not expect. All right. Somebody could reveal a secret to you. Somebody could tell you something about that's going on with something else, right? And maybe you felt it all along. This could be a weekend of confirmation. But I am seeing here, though, that it's very important for you to listen more than talk this week. And if your mind is going in circles and circles and circles and circles, it's about quieting that mind down and observing what's going on, or observing your thoughts, because there could be messages in there as well too. And have patience, I'm getting too. So this is leading up. You get 2 cards because I have the Temperance card here as well. Now, the Temperance card is a reminder that what you're working on right now is something that needs to fine tune, right? So it may seem like it's never working out for you, or it hasn't been working out for you, or it's taken forever. And patience is really being asked of you right now, because the Temperance card is telling you something you're working on right now, the path you're on right now, is requiring you to fine tune your skills. And that's why it's taken longer. So this kind of energy says the gift at the end is always bigger than you could ever imagine. Right now, what you're wanting might not be fulfilling. and it may take more time for things to unfold. So you have a lot of major arcana here saying right now it is about letting the universe do what it needs to do behind the scenes, because something may reveal to you that you weren't even aware of. All right. So this weekend could be, you know, if you're feeling like somebody's pulling back from you or things are kind of quiet, refrain from getting anxious and taking action, because the High Priestess and the Temperance card says slow down. All right. Because your assumptions this weekend could make you overreact to a situation, and you might deceive yourself, or you may create some sort of drama that causes resistance in your situation. All right. So this weekend, pay attention to the messages that you're getting. Pay attention to what you're reading, what you're seeing, the signs and synchronicities, and trust that you are in alignment, and trust that these things are signs that your situation is working out. So what does that tell me? This weekend might not be a whole lot of activity for you, and that could really stress you out and cause a lot of anxiety. But what Spirit is saying, these cards are saying, is psychologically, it could be a mind fuck for you. Like you think nothing is happening, but really there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you realize. And it might not be your circus to be a part of. It's nothing you can control or fix. It's something going on. The people you're dealing with, or somebody that you want to connect to, they're going through something that is a process they have to go through before they can come into alignment with you. So try not to rush the process this weekend. And that's what I have for you. All right. Leo. Let's see, Leo. Let me pick this card. Sometimes the most movement happens when we don't do anything. When you don't do anything and you don't react, that's when a lot of movement. All right, Leo at 17. Hello, forever. All right, Leo. Woo. Leo, the Eight of Air, Eight of Swords just flew out. Whatever you're dealing with right now is an illusion. Okay. And a lack of self-confidence. So this weekend, you could feel trapped in your head. And Spirit's saying with this card is, you know, you're afraid to take action. You're afraid to do something out of fear. And it's an illusion. You're not trapped. You're not stuck. Things are not always working out against you. You may be expecting the worst with the Eight of Swords. Pay attention to projecting onto others out of this fear, because if you're afraid of something, and if you're scared, or you think somebody's lying, or you think somebody's cheating on you, or you think somebody's, you know, planning something behind your back, all right, you're going to project every action onto another person, and you're going to assume these things that they're doing because that's your biggest fear. But that might not be true. And also on the flip side of this, if you're wanting to do something, but you're afraid to take action, the only thing that's holding you back is your fear of rejection, or not being enough, or failing. So you may be assuming the worst this weekend, and the exact opposite is what's really happening. So finding your confidence, finding a sense of peace this weekend, and paying attention to what you're thinking and believing, because that's what you're projecting onto other people. So understand that your person isn't feeling what you're truly believing, and your person's not doing what you're truly thinking they're doing. So you got to step out of that mindset for a second. So maybe you can see, if you ever did critical thinking class, I used to love that class, where you see something. That's why they show you the ink spots in psychology. They want to see what you see, because that's telling the psychologist what you're feeling and thinking inside. So if you see chaos on the ink spot, that means that everything you're looking at around you is chaotic. Oh, your person's chaotic, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. You know what I mean? You know what I get. And it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means that you may be thinking it's your intuition, but you're actually perceiving something to be true that's not true. So this can show up in examples. If you're assuming your person that's on your mind is up to something, it's why are you thinking that? You know, and some of you might say, because they've done it to me before. Well, that also is the Eight of Swords. How many times are you going to ignore the red flags? You don't trust somebody, right? So that is a different scenario. But if this is something new or a situation and you just have a hard time trusting people because you've been hurt before, you may be assuming that another person is deceiving you, and they're not. They're not deceiving you. So this is just a mind check this weekend. And also, you know, I think Aquarius moon is this weekend, which is going to be opposing you. And that could also be, you know, something going on with you too, right? And so just, it's about finding self-confidence this week and this weekend, and not being afraid to take action out of fear. So if you want to reach out to somebody, if you want to talk to somebody, if you want to get something off your chest, you know, expecting rejection or expecting fear, you know, something to happen, that's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. This weekend, it's about finding that confidence and not being afraid to explore or take action towards something, you know, and especially if it's challenging yourself to do something different. Don't let your limited beliefs stop you from doing something new. All right. So this weekend could be you're in your head a lot. All right. So be careful of that. You're in your head a lot this weekend. All right, Virgo. And I do want to say too that when I give these readings and I say you're in your head a lot, this also could be the people around you too, and that could be influencing you as well. All right. So it doesn't always have to be you. You could be picking up the energy around you, and that is influencing you to think these things as well. And if you're listening to people who have negative attitudes, that's not going to help you either, right? So Virgo, 22 for Virgo. All right, Virgo. What does Virgo need to know for this weekend? What to expect? Anything good? What's going on? Come on, Virgo. What's going on with my Virgos? Nine of Swords. Jeez. Expecting the worst. All right. Expecting the worst, and that might not be the outcome. All right. So again, self-fulfilling prophecies, losing sleep. Pay attention this weekend to your sleep patterns. Don't stay up doom scrolling. Don't stay up, you know, stalking people's social media. You know, the Nine of Swords is your own worst enemy. You're criticizing yourself. You're criticizing the situation. You're assuming, you're expecting the worst thing to happen. And guess what's going to happen? What you're assuming is going to happen, right? And most of the time, it's like we just, it's the truth. It really does happen. The more you think or expect something to happen, your ego has to make it happen so that you can have some sort of relief. So you can trust yourself, right? But really what's happening is your fears are leading you, right? So the Nine of Swords is saying, let something rest. You're worrying about something too much, and you may create it to happen. You may, you know, manifest it because you're worried about it so much. So just know that the Nine of Swords is showing up for you this weekend. Get out of your head, go find some way to do something and not overthink a situation, because this does not mean that it's not going to happen for you, but maybe for some of you, you've let something continue to happen. And the Nine of Swords is saying it's time to let something go. Don't beat yourself up, shame yourself. You know, there could be regret. Maybe your person is feeling regret. You know, this is the kind of energy that's coming up. So the Nine of Swords can represent you, but also represent the energy that you're dealing with. So somebody may have some regret, and maybe this is what's happening right now, but this is the time period where we got to let something rest and relax and not let it consume our mind, all right? Because it's not, it might not be what you think, All right, so this weekend you also could be in your head about something. And if you react from a place like this, you know, you may reach out to somebody, you may assume the worst, you may, you know, maybe somebody is looking for forgiveness, maybe they want forgiveness, but this may not be the time to do that. We are in retrograde, so I would not reach out to somebody if you are reaching out of anxiety, fear, guilt, regret, or pain, right? This could be all in your head this weekend. All right, let's see. Libra, 25. Let me get a full shuffle here. Hello, Karen. Libra. What does Libra need to know about this weekend, right? We're looking at energy possibilities and, you know, especially the energy, you know, should you move, should you not, you know, let's see, Libra. Thank you, Chumba. All right, 2 of Wands, Libra. All right, go mode. All right, so this weekend there could be partnering up with somebody, connecting with somebody reaching out. You're moving forward, all right? One step at a time, slow down. The 2 of Wands is a good energy, but we can get excited. We can anticipate. You might reach out just before somebody's going to reach out to you. You may start to get triggered and excited. And then, you know, I thought they weren't going to reach out, so I reached out. And then they're like, hey, I'm at work. I was going to call you later. You know, that kind of energy, right? So hesitancy may create some triggering this weekend, all right? But the 2 of Wands is telling me you guys are coming together. Things are moving on. The torch has been lit, the spark. There is, you know, something has started between you and another person. This could be a partnership at work. This could be a person that you're talking to that you're very interested in. This could be somebody that is holding back a little bit, doesn't want to seem too desperate to reach out to you. All right. But things are moving. You're moving forward. All right. So there could be a contract. You may be signing a contract this weekend, or you may be waiting, but you have to wait till Monday. Who knows, right? But this is positive movement forward. For some of you, this is a crossroads, right? So it does say, I have a choice here. You know, do I want to go this way or want to go that way? Sometimes this card says to me, maybe you don't make a decision just yet, right? Just weigh out your options, right? Take a look and see what's best. Usually, you know, give it a couple days and you'll know the answer by Monday, right? So good energy for my Libras. Just know that if your excitement gets to you, wait a little bit longer, all right? Give it a little bit more space. You know, instead of getting anxious and jumping the gun, you know, somebody may be just getting ready and you're just one step ahead of them. All right. Scorpio. Scorpio at 28. 28 for Scorpio. $28, like 28.00. All right, Scorpio. My Scorpios, what can we expect this weekend? Whether it's energy, your mind, something coming in, movement, let's see. 10 of fire. All right. So the most difficult part's over. Maybe this is a weekend where you're finally getting to breathe, right? If things are getting heavy, stress, maybe some stress concerns, you've been over worrying, you know, taking on too much. It is saying accept help from others, all right? But it's also saying don't let things get so hard, heavy, and take on too much this weekend. There's a break, there's a shift, there's a completion this weekend. So this is also a good sign that maybe by Monday, everything's going to clear up. There's a whole totally new energy coming in for you. All right. The too much work. This isn't a weekend for you to work. All right, so let's go to the beach, right? This weekend here isn't a weekend for you to stress about your relationships, isn't about stressing about this, you know, what's going to happen in the future. We're not trying to do that this weekend. This weekend, it's about having fun. You're already doing too much work. So if some of you are feeling like you're the one that's constantly initiating, doing, working, or you're always at work, or you're always working on this connection, or you're trying to get movement with your person, this weekend, this card is saying when you just surrender to trying to make something happen, it's going to happen. All right. You are at the finish line. So the finish line says you've done everything you can possibly do. Now you have to trust that if somebody wants to be there, they'll come in. If something's going to happen, if you did your job and you did it well, it's going to work out. You have a new cycle coming in. So this card is telling me that if your life is out of balance right now and you are putting too much work into a situation, all right, this is not the time to do that. You need to pull your energy away because you need to let others push. You need to let others do the work too. You need to let others show up for you. But if you're doing everything, they don't have to do anything. All right. So this weekend is about you taking a little bit of a vacation. And if you have the time off, take the time off. It's not about working. All right. This coming week, Monday, is going to be a reset. And we have the new moon coming up. All right, the new moon. So this tells me that you're ending a cycle. It's time to breathe and let this newness come in. So this might not be the most active weekend for you. All right, but it is saying don't stress the small stuff. Don't take life too serious right now because there's not a lot going on. And if there's no problems, don't make any. All right, that's what I got for you. Sagittarius. That was actually a really good reading. There's no problems. Don't make any. 3131 for Sagittarius. I'm glad you're loving the quick reads. I'll probably do this every Friday. If you guys enjoy them, just show up. As long as you guys show up, that's what matters. All right. Sagittarius. What to expect this weekend? What do you need to know? What do you need to hear about this weekend? And help you get through. Remember, I'm always about helping you guys work through the energies that suck so you don't, you know, sabotage your manifestation by freaking out like we all do. All right, Sag. What do you need to hear? I just saw the Six of Fire, so we'll see how that plays in with the card I pulled. Six of Wands can be really, really good, right? But let's see. All right. Temperance card. All right. So you have the Temperance card. So a need for balance and moderation this weekend. All right. This card is reminding you that there is a perfect time for everything. And I just pulled the Six of Wands and I see the Seven of Pentacles. So you're getting 3 today, right? You're getting a lucky card. The seeds have been planted, right? But the Seven of Pentacles can be frustrating because you feel like I'm working towards something and I'm not seeing any results yet. And then there's your energy, the Sagittarius, the Temperance card. And you hate this. That's why it's your card. You don't have patience for stuff, right? You're like, I just want somebody to work with me. I just want, you know, come on, give me a little bit. Do something. Let's move, you know. You got to find something else to do this weekend. You got to find something else. You got to entertain yourself. Right. And this is just for this weekend's energy because the Temperance card is telling me that what lasts the longest, and sometimes things take this long to work out, you know, because it's all coming together. And what you're building here is something more than something that's superficial. Right? Whether it's job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's friendships, whatever it is that you're needing so bad or you're wanting to see the outcome so bad. This is telling you the outcome's not going to show up for you right away. There's too many parts and pieces involved. So what you're wanting or what you're expecting to have right now as the outcome, that's what's going to cause your suffering because the outcome that you want, it's impossible right now. It's divine. That's divine timing. Sometimes things just take time. So if you're dealing with a situation and somebody's got something else going on, you know, you like bluntness, but tough shit. You can't have your cake and eat it too right now. I know you can. And maybe you will get it, but right now there's a lot of other things happening here. It seems like you're going through a little battle with something or somebody, and you're wanting the attention now. You're wanting the victory now with that Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is reminding you just to keep your head high, you know, just to stay confident with your situation, right? The attention is coming in, the rewards are coming in, but right now that Temperance card is saying, sorry, but you have to wait for the right timing. So keep doing what you're doing and focus on other things. Get your, you know, find some distractions, get some, you know, do something else and find the intention this weekend. Because what happens when you get bored and impatient, you force something to happen and then you get the outcome that you don't desire. And then you cause stress when it's unnecessary, or you find yourself ruminating over the situation and creating stories that are not true. Then you start to doubt yourself, you start to doubt your person, and then you start to create this story, and your person is like, where is this coming from? Right? I already told you last week what's going on. I told you yesterday what's going on. Why is it this weekend the same story is coming up? Do you not believe me? Do you not trust me? Do you not trust yourself? Right? So you are being asked to kind of, you know, moderate your emotions, moderate your time this weekend, and trust that it's working out for you. Some things do just take time, and you are up against time right now, and you hate that. All right? That's what I got for you. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn, 36. You don't have to chill. You don't have to chill. That's not what that was saying, but you got to go find something else that makes you excited. Go use that energy elsewhere. Take your focus off that one thing that's pissing you off. Go use that extra energy and go climb some rocks, right? Instead of kick rock, go climb some rocks. Hello, Spiritual Arco. All right, Capricorn, what do you need to hear about this weekend? I'm giving it to you. Let's see. Sometimes it's just a quick message about your mind, right? Nine of Pentacles. All right, so time to spend some time alone, doing something, spending some money if you got it. If you don't have it, don't spend it, all right? I get that, all right? I spend foolishly when I don't have it, and that's not a good thing. But enjoying life right now. So this weekend is about you finding ways to enjoy life. Nine of Pentacles is telling you that, you know, you're in a good alignment. Success is coming your way. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. Things are working out for you, right? Maybe the timing's off. Maybe you're feeling, maybe you're sick of spending time alone. I don't know what that, maybe for some of you that's it. But this could also be talking about working on your material goals and working on finances and working on entrepreneurship too, right? But this is a very independent energy. So it tells me this weekend you may be doing stuff that you need to do, get things done. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you get this energy and you focus on yourself, usually Spirit's trying to tell you, I've got your back. I'm working on what you really want. I'm working on what you need, but you've got to hand it over to me. So go keep yourself busy. Go do something. Go enjoy yourself while I'm taking care of the rest of the stuff. Because what happens is we get bored against, kind of like with Sagittarius, you're going to want to do something when you don't need to do anything just yet. And some things do take time. Now I see the Six of Cups underneath it. Right? So you get two cards today. Somebody's thinking about you. Somebody may need space to think about you. Maybe something just happened. Something just went down, or you've been separated from somebody, or you're alone. Maybe you have been feeling single and alone. Six of Cups is saying, hang on here a second. Somebody's got you on their mind. Give them a little bit of space to miss you for some of you. Give them some space to really think about what their heart wants to tell them. Sometimes we get caught up in our heads and we think we're going to talk about everything, but we're not listening to our heart. So maybe your person needs a little bit of space so they can hear their heart. Right? Not hear you, right? They've heard you. They need to hear their own heart. right? So I am seeing this weekend could be about getting some practical things done, doing stuff out that makes you feel grounded, and spending some time alone, maybe so you can even listen to your own heart and see, you know, who you're truly missing, right? Because the Six of Cups, when you're in your heart space, you may be manifesting somebody in. You may get that return call. Six of Cups can say somebody reaching out, but also it says it may not happen this weekend, but it looks like somebody's going to reach out. That's what I got for you. Hello, Michi and Wendy. What's up? Focus on what you can control this weekend if you can't control the situation that is bothering you. All right. Aquarius. 40. All right. Aquarius, what do you need to hear before the weekend starts? So magic happens when we're not paying attention. Remember that. Magic happens when we're not paying attention. Set it and forget it. Aquarius, what do you need to hear about the weekend? The Sun card. All right, first one to get it today. First thing tells me go to the beach or get out in the sun if you can. I know that it's cold in some areas, but you can still get the sun with the snow. All right, so I see a happy outcome. This weekend could be the biggest news you've been waiting for. It could be somebody's birthday, right, that you're celebrating, or somebody at Pisces, right? It's Pisces reaching out to you. But you see, having confidence in yourself, this could be a really good weekend for you. So for those of you that have been waiting for something, or those of you that have been just kind of in a dull place, something exciting could happen this weekend with that Sun card. It's a big hell yes. It also tells me that if something doesn't feel like a hell yes, you gotta let that shit go. Don't be taking okays or maybes, right? None of that applies this weekend. This weekend, it has to light you up and feel really good. And that tells me that there's a lot of luck around you, and that something could be growing, or there's clarity. You could get truth this weekend that really lights you up. This is also falling in love. So for some of you, there is potential, if you're open to it, for new romance, or, you know, falling in love with somebody that you're connected to. This is also a sexual card. Maybe some of you are going to get some this weekend. I don't know, you know, but whatever's happening this weekend is going to lead to success. All right. So be open to the possibilities this weekend. Remember, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And whatever's happening this weekend could be the doorway to this big, huge, you know, success in your life, right? It could lead to success. The Sun, Leo energy. I also have the moon underneath, right? The moon can say, you know, things can look shady at times. So like I said, if you're uncertain about something and your mind and body is like, and you're like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no right now, right? Things should be pretty clear for you this weekend on what to do, all right? That's my Aquarius. Pisces. This is the fastest one I think I've ever done. All right, Pisces at 43. It's been a lot of on and off again rain here. It's been awesome. Pisces, happy birthday. Hope you're having an amazing one. What do you need to hear about this weekend? Just 43. All right. All right, this card just flew out, and I see the Three of Pentacles, but I'm going to pull another one for you. So I do have the Three of Pentacles, and I have the Ace of Water, Pisces. All right, this is falling in love, all right, or the resurgence of a relationship. All right, so Three of Pentacles, maybe somebody wanted to work something out with you. Well, this could be a good time, you know, I always see counseling with Three of Pentacles, or calling in a friend, right? Phoning a friend, getting some support, getting somebody to help out. There's definitely a situation that has potential here. There's a lot of love growing here. Somebody really wants to work something out with you. Things may take time though. So keep in mind that, Ace of Water says, here it is. The opportunity's here. Somebody may make an offer this weekend, right? Or you may be feeling a little bit more love, or you may see the opening, a conversation. But the Three of Pentacles is reminding you that, this is the beginning. This is the process. So we've got to figure out how to make it work. And so we're still kind of in this phase of, we got to try something different. We got to make it work. Maybe we do need to call somebody in if we can't seem to agree, to disagree, or if we need to work something out, or we need to talk something out. Let's have somebody who cares about both of us, right? Now, for some of you, this could be working with somebody too. There may be a project coming up, somebody coming in to help you. This is always my helping hand with money or an opportunity. I had this happen yesterday. I found out that somebody knew somebody that knows somebody in Tennessee that has all these connections to what I'm trying to manifest in. And I'm like, wow, my God, it's the same. That's how it works. And that's the kind of energy I'm feeling for you. All right, that things are coming together, and they may show up in the weirdest way. It could be somebody else bringing in some sort of information, or if that's helping matters. Somebody could be working behind your back to try and make something work for you. All right, they have your back, right? They're giving somebody information about you. They're talking good about you, or they're trying to talk to the person that you're upset with, and they're trying to make it work. You never know how it's going to happen, but what I can see is that it's forming on the basis of love. So there is a lot of love and support around you right now. This can be new love coming your way as well too. All right, so be open to the possibilities. All right, I love you guys. If you want to hang out with me, or you have a question for the weekend, I am doing super chats at 3:15. I'm going to give it about 30 minutes. I'll be on, so you guys have plenty of time to sign up. We do have a list on there already. But I usually can take up to about 25, 30 people in a matter of 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So if you need me, I'm there, and I'll see you guys soon. Did you guys get timestamps by any chance? If you guys could, or somebody could let me know, and I'll fill them out. I'll fill them out here so you guys can have timestamps on this. Yes, thank you, April. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Sherry. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.